introduction. Welcome, yogis. Let's get started to your heart-opening practice. I'm going to make my way back to my mat. Join me here. And you may notice that I have a T shape on my mat. You don't need that. I have that so I can show you everything from all different directions. We're making our way right on down to the mat, starting today in a child's pose. And I'll try to show you everything from different angles if you're new to class. If you're new to yoga, welcome, welcome. We're going to have a great time. Our hips are settling back onto our heels, and our hands are stretching out into an extended child's pose overhead. If we're able to, we're coming to the tops of our fingers, the tips of our fingers, to make the heel of our hands hollow, to strengthen our wrists for our practice, and to stretch our shoulders, armpits, and sides. Child's pose is a beautiful place to start your practice because it's an invitation to enter at any moment you need it today. Throughout the next 55 minutes as we work, if things get a little too hot, come on down and take a break. Let's take one more breath and see if we can crawl our fingertips out any more. And if you feel like you could go a little wider, shift your hips back up, widen your knees out, and one big breath in a little bit of a heart melting pose. My groin is falling between my thighs. My fingertips reach out and I'm melting my heart towards the floor. If I can allow my ears to get heavy between my elbows, the top half sinking helps the lower half release. Ease on back gently through your hips like a big sigh. And on your next breath in, let's come into tabletop position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and if possible, all 10 toes tucking under to stretch the bottoms of our feet. From here, cat-cows. We're dropping our belly towards the floor, tailbone and top of head up with an exhale. Fully empty your lungs. Inhale, round up through your back like a scaredy cat. Chin tucks towards our navel. Let's try that again. Soften our elbows and shoulders as our belly rolls down. Tail and head roll up. And then we tuck in tight, rounding into the tiniest little ball possible. Now you roll through this with your breath, as slowly or as quickly as you'd like to move through all of the shapes in our practice today. And then I'd love for you to move in a little bit of a sphere, 360-degree breath, whether we can push our ribs left and right as we roll through cat-cow, or maybe I slither a little bit through my backside and rock forward and back in this posture. We're inviting all movement in every direction into our bodies. And then we're holding a cow. I know it's an unflattering name, but our bellies drop. Tailbones and top of head lift. Toes flatten out. And both toes head to the right side. Take toes to the right and then look around the corner, making this baby C shape with our bodies. Coming back to the center, toes shift left. Eyes and left shoulder shift towards toes to make the C shape. Coming back to the center. And before we begin, we're going to get a little bit of wrist stretching. Are you able to take the back of your hand fully open in your webbing to the mat? If it feels okay, start to shift forward and back. And if two hands at the same time works, try that. I'll show you from the front. Anyway, it doesn't have to flip all the way around. You could flip to the side. Fingertips could face one another. A little bit of rocking. If you did one, undo that one and do the other. And if stillness feels better at any time, find that as well. Last stretch on our wrists. Tucking our toes and rising to forward fold. We're just lifting our hips up high. This is a great time if the backs of your legs are very tight to have blocks or books underneath your fingertips. Bend your knees tremendously. Tuck your chin and roll to standing. Slowly and luxuriously reach your arms overhead. Extended mountain pose. Arms fall to side mountain pose. Try that one more time. Arms reach overhead. Breathe in. Exhale and forward fold. Bend your knees as much as possible for tight hamstring. Halfway lift. Fingertips elevate our body. Come to the very tips of fingers or off of them completely. Halfway lift. Forward fold again. Your right leg lunges back. We're getting sun salutation. Right leg lunges back and your knee falls to the floor. We crawl up the left thigh and lift up through the chest. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Sweep your arms out. Make yourself as big as possible. Clasp hands behind low back. Right thumb on top. and chase the floor with your knuckles. Soft elbows, open your heart. Can you rise up through your heart and your collarbones? Allow your collarbones to smile. Frame out your front foot, but then scoop both hands inside the front toe and shift your weight back a little bit or all the way back. Now we're going to try to bring our hearts towards one another. Bring your throat forward. Lift up through the front toes or not. We're in a half splits position. This might be really, really hard on your front hamstrings, especially if you're sitting and shortening a lot. So we bend our front knee as much as we need, and we pad up our back knee as much as we need. Shift back forward, lift up through your back toes, and any way possible, get your left leg back to downward facing dog. So I like to do it like a break dancer. Sweep out wide. I may visit child's pose, but then I end up in downward facing dog, ears next to elbows, pressing my body up into a triangular shape, hips high, heels long and low. Look forward and ripple your body into a plank position. Knees are welcome to come down to support us as we lower our heart down towards the floor, all the way down. And as we get there, we're bringing our forearms on the floor to push up into Sphinx position. Palms are open, energy through your toes, maybe a little energy in the corners of your mouths, like a little smile. Unclench your cheeks, the back ones. We want to be soft in our lower, pulling forward through the forearms. And then we ease back to child's pose again. Hands come down, heart melts down. Press yourself back before your buns hit your heels. Shift your weight to the right, hips right, hips left. Create this beautiful smile shape in your hips. Get your low back, a little bit of tension free. And then once you find your child's pose, tuck your toes, scoop your hips to the sky, and rise up into downward facing dog. Now it might feel good to ski slope your back. Press your ears past your elbows, more towards your chest. Bend your knees as much as you'd like in this position, and make your back like a little ski slope so we get more heart opening today. Find down dog in any way it feels best. Right leg rises, three-legged dog. Inhale. Look to your thumbs. Try to pull your knee through under your chest and in between your thumbs. If you got stuck, grab your ankle and help it through. Here we are, back in kneeling lunge. Let's climb up. Your left knee, shin and top of foot are relaxed. Climb up. Feel strong here. Feels so good, right? Clasp hands behind low back. Left thumb on top this time. And shine your heart upwards. Let's feel light and lifted in the upper body. Strong and grounded through the lower half. One more big breath in. Now you're welcome to stay longer in any pose that feels too good to leave. Otherwise, come and frame out your front foot and then scoop both hands inside your right toes. Give them a little wiggle. And then see if you can draw your chest through the window of your elbows as if you're a turtle peeking out of his shell. Then all we need to do is fill up with breath from here. Feels good, doesn't it? One more big breath in. Okay, let's frame out our front foot again. Walk back in. Frame it with your hands. Tuck back toes. And this time we're stepping forward. Back into our fold. Knees as bent as necessary. I'd like to take you through another one, yogis, but I'm going to turn to the side so that you can always see me. From forward fold, halfway lift. Even dangling fingertips for a longer spine. Top of head through tail long. Forward fold, fingers slide back to tips of toes or beyond to relax our shoulders. Stay here for a moment. Clasp your hands behind your low back, right thumb on top, and tuck your chin to your chest. Top of your head should be hanging towards the ground. Shake it, no. No, I have no time for neck tension today. And yes, shaking yes, I'm gonna have a wonderful day from this moment forward. Ready, yogis? Heart rises slowly, knuckles glide back as our hips come down, and we're back in a chair, but this chair is way better than our desk chair. This is our yoga chair. Look and make sure we can see our toes. Give them a nice little wiggle. And shift your hips back a little bit with your heart rising up, up, and then we can come back. One more breath. Soften your elbows, peeling your chest open, pressing palms. Arms rise, extended mountain pose with an add-on, yogis. Arms open to the side, and we lift their heart up for a joyous baby back bend. Bring the hands to heart center. Travel down in a little roll all the way back to forward fold. Left leg lunges back first on this one. Gonna switch up your sides here and sink down. Now you can lunge like we did earlier with the back knee down. Otherwise, arms rise high. And we're taking a goalpost formation. Elbows bend at 90 degrees. We're closing the forearms like we did earlier in our cats and cows. Angry cat. And then open as if you were bringing your body back into cow shape. Close and squeeze, bow down. Inhale, open, arise. Kudos to you guys for committing to your strong practice. Let's use our breath to make it even better, even bigger. Trying to breathe new light into every little nook and cranny that may have darkened as we sat. Arms lift into high lunge. Frame out front foot, this time pyramid pose. Pull front knee high into thigh. Shift hips around so you're feeling like you're getting a stretch all over left to right on your front leg. Feels good, doesn't it? But we want to be long at all times. So let's lengthen top of head away from tail. And if you would like to have your books or something under your hands to build this floor up, make it more accessible, yogis. Remember that breakdancing move we did earlier? Anyway, you can get back to down dog. So you might like to kneel. Take hands inside front foot. Whoop, clear out some space around you. Child's pose may be a stopping point or tabletop. Otherwise, I'll meet you in down dog. Tuck your toes, scoop your hips up and back. And then I challenge you to send your legs in two different directions today. Can you bend your knees? Push your thighs back, but push your shins forward. Doesn't that feel so good? It gets you from your hamstrings up into your glutes, and then stamp your toes down and widen them up like you could split your mat between your big toes. Push out to the sides. One more big breath in. Ripple forward, yogis, coming into plank. Let's lift up through the hips, the back body. Find yourself in plank or kneeling. Plank, all good. Tops of feet fall flat if we're kneeling. Shift your weight forward and down all the way to the mat again. Slowly lowering so we're getting very strong. Once you're lying flat, hands clasped behind low back, left thumb on top. Pressing long through palms towards the toes. Lift up from the backs of our necks. Tuck your chins so that it's like you're fogging a mirror under your nose. Stay really long. And then start to pulse your knuckles back towards your heels with your toes, knees and thighs anchored onto the mat. Squeezing to open the upper body. Soften your elbows, always kind and full of breath, nurturing our joints. Just two more, yogis. And one. Beautiful job. Hands come down. Press back to child's pose. Do you remember that smile? Shift your hips one way and the other because your back just worked really hard. So let it break. Downward facing dog. Tuck your toes. Pause for a second. Ask yourself what you need. The bent knees? Do you want the ski slope? Or just the regular triangular version of lengthening our bodies down dog? When you're ready, in-breath helps us lift our left leg, pushing it long heel from top of head, three-legged dog. Look in between your thumbs, crunch your knee and try to land, always using the back knee as a stopping point if we need it. Otherwise, high lunge. When you feel ready, climb up. Open your arms all the way up and overhead. And do you remember those goalpost arms? We're gonna do that again. Goalpost comes down. I'm gonna shift back to you now. And then we close into a squeeze. Press forearms like you're generating energy. Open and send that energy out. So tough on our legs here. Stay strong. Bending a little bit deeper into that front knee so it's at 90 degrees if possible. Use strong yogi breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Well done, guys. Feeling free to rise through the arms and then let them float down like gentle raindrops. Framing out front foot again. Shifting front knee high into thigh for a wide pyramid pose. Oh, this is a very tough pose. Back foot can be elevated through the heel, or if we need to bring it in closer, a more traditional pyramid, go there. And if we want blocks, they're a great place to prop ourselves up a little higher for less intensity in our front leg. One more big breath in. On the exhalation, ease deeply into surrender. Next breath in, we step forward. Rising and shining, bending your knees, lifting all the way to the sky. Some more heart opening. Stay at the tippy top for that suspension pose again. Arms spread wide. Heart opens all the way up. Remember, we go up and then back as much as it's comfortable for our low backs. Palms come to heart center. Left leg steps behind the right. And this time we're lifting arms up to tip to the right side before we move on. Now feel free to twist and open your chest area as much as it feels good. Feel joyous and strong here. Come into the center, rise. Right leg steps behind. And as we tip left, we open and twist. Feel breath coming into new spots in the low back where it gets really tight and dark. Center yogis, time to move on and add on. Breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. You move your arms any way that feels good for you today. Blocks or no blocks, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, release. Right leg lunges behind. Don't worry, lunges are out of here for now. We let that back heel fall and the toes turn out towards your side wall. Climb up to your front knee and then rise your hips and your chest to me to find yourself in Warrior One. Warrior One is a great strong pose, but it can be tough to turn our hips. You do as your body feels best. Widen left to right for more swivel in your hips and just feel the energy through the inner right thigh. We're landing our bodies towards the side wall. Arms fall down towards the shoulders, and we're in Warrior Two, but a chest opening Warrior Two. Spin your palms up to rotate shoulders out and down. Let's take our knee in the front towards our baby toes, and then eyes gently gaze down your left fingertips. One more big breath in, arms rise. Arms fall back to shoulders, left forearm falls to left thigh, and right arm rises. Extended side angle or an extended Warrior Two. Really tough pose to be light and lifted on our left side, which is what we want. Always going for length and light. Swivel to Sun Warrior or Reverse Warrior. Arms come like a windmill, up and back. Right side, as long as you can make it. Remember that stretch we just did to the side? Open your sides. Swivel all the way back down like a cartwheel or a windmill. Turn back toes in, frame out front foot and step back. Hey, remember we have that knee that can help us if we want to break dance. Child's pose, table, or down dog. Inhale, roll forward, yogis, to plank or kneeling. If you're feeling warm and jazzed up, we take our chaturanga, our tricep push up to the floor, this time for seal pose. Hands come out a little wider. You can have your suction cuppy fingers or flat palms to push you up a bit bigger than our Sphinx did. Not okay for your shoulders? Bring them back in and hover, hands under. Just use the muscles of your back. Otherwise, one more breath in seal pose. Any way we can bring some lightness to our face on this? Let it go, yogis. Press back, child's pose. Downward facing dog. Breathe in and lift your hips super duper high. Inhale, right leg to the sky or to the wall behind you. Find square hips, long lines, top of head through right heels. Looking crunch as you step forward. Foot lands in between thumbs. And we rise into high lunge. How can we get there? We want to roll up to blocks, rise up to thighs, or lift right on up and overhead. Now we've been here before, so we're not going to stay for long. Let's let the back toes swivel out. I always need to step my feet a little wider because we're going to invite our left hip forward, arms rising again. And this time behind the low back, we're clasping hands, wrists, or forearms in our Warrior Ones. Okay, now let's pull our bellies in, our pelvic floor region up and on like we're hammocking in all of our organs. Try to shimmy some strength and release into your shoulders. I like a little bit of movement here and there. Arms are rising again in your time when you feel ready for your in-breath. On your exhalation, we open our bodies. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. We open our bodies into Warrior Two. Eye gaze down, right fingertips. Left knee soft, but inner thigh electrified. Glued down through blade edge. Right knee open towards baby toes. Feeling it, yogis. When you're ready, send more length through top of head, and then come down, right forearm so soft to your right thigh. Elevate, long and light through the left fingertips. If your shoulders don't agree with a reach, tap your shoulder head, encourage it open. Fingertips to temples, hands to hips, or side body. Make this practice feel so good. Okay, with lots of strength, we're windmilling the arms. Eyes might want to look down if you have a tender neck into reverse warrior. Never a time to rush. Take as much time as possible. Long in your left side body. If you feel tight, come out a little bit. Revisit when you can. One more big breath in this beautiful posture. Get as light as possible on your back fingertips. And when you're ready, we're gonna send our arms in this beautiful cartwheel, turning back toes in, frame out your front foot. How are we gonna get back to that down dog again? However you can, that's the answer every time. Push back. Take however you feel good in down dog. Stretch big, swivel here, ski slope there. And when you're ready, roll forward into plank. Exhale, coming into a little rolling version here of our back bend. Do you want a baby cobra, hands under shoulders or slightly out to lift from the back of our necks? Or an up dog? If we're straightening our arms, our knees and thighs have to lift too. Shoulders roll up, back, and down. And wherever you are, we're slowly, gently massaging the low back with a little roll. So if I'm in baby cobra, I'm just gently rolling over my hip points. More chest opening, right? As promised, I'm trying to incorporate it all through here. When you're ready, yogis, press back to child's or right into downward facing dog if the spirit moves you. Left leg rises high, breathe in. Any way you want to open, big open hips, squared hips, what feels good. Crunch forward, land between your thumbs. Step your back leg in, super light, just a lift, a bounce, forward fold, here we are. Take a second, guys. Hold on to opposite bicep muscles or elbows and slowly, softly spin around these corners, elbows towards our ankles. Let your head hang heavy and close your eyes if you're feeling really daring, getting all this fresh, breathy blood flow into our brains to invigorate us for the rest of the day. When you're ready, my friends, you're slowly rolling back to standing, inhaling all the way up, reaching into an extended mountain pose. One more suspension with an add-on. Lift your heels this time, yogis. Suspension pose in the tallest version of you. Arms are opening like a capital Y, and then our heart comes up as our body bends minimally or maximally backwards, whatever feels good. When you notice your ankles wobbling, thank your body's stabilizers. Embrace the wobbles. We're stepping outside of our comfort zone today. One more big breath. How softly can you fall back to the earth like a flower petal? Time to balance. Take a big breath in. Knee rises through the right side. And then let the arms fall down by your sides as you flex your right foot and see if you can catch the knee and the heel to help it across the opposite thigh. So if we're never sitting with crossed legs, we might be losing out on a little hip flexibility. It might feel nice now to sit back in our yoga chair with a figure 4. Foot remains flexed to protect our ankles and our knees. Sink low, and then if you'd love it, hands are gonna clasp again behind low back as we did before. Hands, wrists, forearms, or if you can get a prayer, it's called a reverse namaste. Behind the low back, you'd press your pinkies and then wiggle your fingers up your spine, peeling elbows open. Peel elbows open like someone's taking your elbows and guiding you back softly. One more big breath in. Are you able to sit any deeper? Pressing your right knee right down to the floor. Right knee rises again, big breath in. And a star pose. Let your arms float down to the diagonal. Right leg extends out to the side. Send it as wide and as long as you can. And if you're lucky enough to be able to touch a wall or something sturdy, push into it. It feels so good to open. Breathe into your newfound length, your width, your freedom of breath. Last knee left on the right side. Inhale. Exhale. Oh, does your left leg hurt? Does it need a little love? Give it some love. Shake it out. Woo, that's good. Bring the arms back to high up tall. As tall as you can be. Left knee lifts, foot flexes. Let's let the arms float down. Woo, I got the wiggles. Hard to stand on this foot. And we're going to help it right across, unless you can easily cross. No big deal. Go for it. Arms rise again when you find yourself situated in figure 4 chair. Sink your buns. Hands behind low back. If that doesn't feel good, just hands to hips. Remember, we're peeling shoulders open, elbows back. See if you can make yourself as wide as possible left to right. Left knee is pushing down with our strongly flexed foot. Option is to clasp the hands and chase the floor back there as well. Unclench your jaw, your eyes, our faces and our toes, our extremities do funny things when we're trying really hard. So we're going to untry for a second. Release wherever you can allow it. Nice. Left knee rises, arms rise. Let the arms float down to star pose. Leg pushes out to star pose. Let's find 2 lines, yogis, top to bottom. And out on the diagonal, and then open as wide as you can. 360-degree breath, north, south, east, west. Inflate your ribs like you're in water. One more big breath in. One more big breath out to lengthen. Arms rise, left knee rises, big breath in. And then we release. The standing postures are done. Melt to the floor, so soft like a rag doll. Fingertips slowly come down. This is my favorite part, yogis. I can't wait to do this with you. Drop your left leg first and ease on back. If you need to put some cushioning under your buns, if it's a hard floor, go ahead, because we're going to rock around a bunch here. So I want you to be really comfy. Right leg comes forward, or if possible on top. But the way to get there is to lean back and open your chest and allow your legs to cross themselves instead of forcing them. Lean back. Wherever the right leg crosses, on top or in front, is a beautiful space today. Then remove any flesh from under your sits bones so you're feeling really anchored. Arms lift when you're ready. And a little note, if your legs are really up here, put pillows, books, something that's comfy in between to support you. Hands come behind low back again. Anywhere that you feel good. The suction cups make everything really strong in your hand and wrist. Guide your chest and your knees forward like a drawer. Big breath up and under your collarbones. All right, let's move a little bit. If you prefer stillness, stay right here, yogis. Otherwise, hands come out to the sides. Right arm lifts up and over, again like that sundial. Inhale. Right arm falls, left arm rises. Exhale. Move with your breath. I'm going to glue my sits bones down into the earth. Draw energy up from Mother Earth to lengthen you away from your lower body. If you feel super here and you're ready to move on, right arm comes around in a circle. Reach to me. Right arm falls, left rises, sweeps forward. And remember, we care nothing about height. Opening feels great, but I want you to get really long in your practice. So if your shoulders are a little cranky, you may feel best bending your elbows right here. If you can think it and your body says, I'd like to try that, it's a yoga pose. Go ahead and do it. When you get back to your right hand being on the ground and your left arm lifted, stay, my friends. Inhale. Here's where we invite the length, the openness if it wants to come. And if your body's going to let you in today, left arm falls. Might be a little tough. You might want to put a pillow back there to prop you up, lifting your chest as you twist your heart towards the sky. Breathing all in through the right side body here. Let's take the left arm back down to spin over your right knee. Some people prefer some cushioning under their bellies here because we're going to fold over our right sides. But then I want you to envision a lazy cat stretching out into the sun. So we keep reaching. We keep reaching. And then finally we just say, that's a good spot. Really heavy in the upper body, including your jaw. your cheeks. Just let go. Coming into the center, same thing. Reach long, and then when you feel really good, you may even move your hips back a tad, fold forward. If you like props, under forearms, or you can even rest them big enough that your head can come down. All great ideas. Last but not least on this leg, lift again so we can travel more to the left. Around now your right foot, reach, you know what to do now. And then release. Now check in with your toes for this last one. Really active, energized toes, pulling into a foot flex to protect our joints on the right leg. My favorite part, we get to ask our bodies to undo. Now, some of us may feel really stiff and want to help our legs out. That's fine, do that. Otherwise, lean back and allow your legs to do what feels natural. My favorite thing, widen up to mat width, and then let your knees knock side to side for a windshield wiper. Slow and steady after that big hip opener. All right, yogis, bring the soles of your feet together. Woo. Now you choose, do you want a little tiny butterfly wing here, or do you want a bigger diamond shape? Whenever you get to where that feels pretty good with any blocks or props under your knees, let's lift both arms up. I know this is hard in the beginning. Reach arms forward. If it's too much weight overhead, you have lots of options, but I want you to go as long as possible. And then see if it feels good to either just land hands or offer your heart forward, crawling like that lazy cat again. If you're able to hold your feet, it's nice, as if you're gonna read deep inside your soles. It's a really good book that you're gonna crack open. Crack open there. Remember, heart lifts, opens, and then we surrender when the length in our spine has arrived. Let's take another beautiful breath in here, unless you prefer to stay longer. And if you're joining me in the next posture, hands come underneath to help your legs up into reverse tabletop. I'll show you this one from the side. You have to listen to your shoulders, okay? Because your fingers, I ask you to set them up towards your heels. If it doesn't feel good, move them any degree outwards that you need. Otherwise, we push through palms, stand through the heels, and we lift. Elbows are gonna stay soft, but the rest of our body rises. My knees pull towards one another a tad bit. And then when I get there, I feel really open across my chest. I may even allow my head to drop back if that feels good. Feels vulnerable, no doubt, but that's why you're here. Tap into your emotional side. Let any emotions, any thoughts, anything out right now. Stay longer if you'd like, otherwise ease back to the earth. And let's roll ourselves back around to where we were a moment ago. This time our right leg falls first and our left leg comes somewhere. Remember, we leaned back and asked, do we want to stack it like fire logs? No matter where we are, we have a strong straight rod from ankle to knee, not like a banana. So we keep our foot flexed here. Scoot your buns around so you can feel your sits bones anchoring in and providing you uplifted length. Connecting with your breath to elongate here. Left arm falls. Remember how we started yogis? Lateral stretch, glue the right side down, and then spin around the corner. Lift. Options for shoulders that are still a little stiff. I can still be super long from my tail up my spine through top of my head with shortened arms, right? And when the spirit moves you and you're ready for a little more, we're starting to spin around the corner, acting as if we want to get every nook and cranny of our body invigorated with breath. So to get a little more heart opening, we would just go whoop, right around the corner at the top. If it feels good, eye gaze might follow. Chest opening. Second side usually feels a little bit more willing to cooperate. And my friends, when you're back to your left hand being down, pause. Right arm rises. See where you can go with your breath. Are you able to lengthen it even more? Can we shine our heart up to the sky? When you're ready, just tip over to the left side, fall over the left knee. You may need to sit up a little bit and actually turn your navel towards your knee, but then we're gonna luxuriously, without any agenda, no expectations, reach long as can be, and then soften down, release there. When we're feeling sensation, most likely in our front or top leg, our left leg, start to breathe heavily into that spot. See your breath invigorating, rejuvenating, and see exhales. Let go of what doesn't serve us. Lift a little to twist to center. You choose any blocks. You know what else is so nice? Just to take a little hand, folded hand posture, and just rest like you're getting your 2-year-old portraits done. One more breath in here. I like to use our exhalations to turn the corner. So let's exhale and rise, turn around the corner, and then reach out again. Navel more towards the right, over our left toes. Reach a little, relax a lot. Letting go of something unnecessary right here. Tension in our shoulders, the grip between our jaws, the lines across our foreheads, focusing on right here, right now, the gift of the present moment, and our beautiful breaths that sustain us. Hands under shoulders in your time, rising on up and doing the same, just bringing our hands behind us, pressing our knees forward like a drawer is opening in your pelvic region. Lift up. Breathe out through the center. Breathe out through your heart, out through your throat, and right up through the top of your skull. Lean back so far that the legs start to uncross, and you come out any way you need, right here. All right, some people's favorite pose, it's coming. Reverse tabletop again, fingertips down in any way. Lift up through your hips and then soften elbows still as we open up through the front body. If your knees bother, you pull them towards your midline. All right, love it or hate it, we're moving on, my friends. Hips down, this is called camel. So you let me know your thoughts on this one. I'll show it from the side. Remember our toes tucked version earlier. We're gonna retuck all of our toes if that feels good for you. Otherwise, tops the feet flat. Climb up, remember our chin follows us. Arms rise, and we can stay right here in this beautiful shin position. Otherwise, there are tons of options. We can bring the thumbs to the base of our spine, fists to our low back, our sacrum area, to push in and assist on the way up, or even bring our palms to low back, fingertips to your butterfly wings, and lift them up and out. Now, if you know you want more and your low back doesn't need that support, from an arms lifted position, we can lower all the way down through one arm or both, reaching for our heels or potentially tapping to the heels, but I want to go up more than I care about going back. Heart up, length and freedom. Lots of breath into the low back. If you got somewhere and you're like, thanks, I need to get out of here, tuck your chin before you rise. Otherwise, one more breath, yogis. Tuck your chin, walk back up from wherever you are, drop the arms if you're up, coming back down to where we started class today in our tabletop position. And let's go all the way to the floor. Walking out, walking out. Oh, it's gonna feel so good. We're gonna stretch all that out. Lower down any way possible, graceful and easy. Stretch overhead as long as you can be, and then just really go so long like you're just waking up in the morning. Reach out. All right, a little bit of a bow pose. We're gonna work ourselves into a half bow. Hands under your shoulders, bend your left knee, and then take your toes to the ceiling. Lift your knee and thigh. Reach out through the right hand and boost yourself up. So you're making a little U shape in your low back. Reaching left hand back, potentially reaching to grab either my ankle or the top of my foot, whatever my knee feels best doing. If I can't reach it today, I'm still going. I'm gonna reach as long as I can. If you do have a hold of your left foot, you're kicking in enough to try to straighten your leg. Really go for it. Strong legs enhances our modified half bow. Lift up. Are you still breathing? It's hard to breathe under belly, isn't it? One more breath, and then let go. Oh, Hands fold one on top of the other. Left leg falls out, forehead falls, and then take your toes as wide as your mat. And then just jiggle your hips like a bowl full of jello. Let all that go. Come back in. You know what's happening now. Fingertips under chest. Start to rise up through the chest. Bend your right knee. Take your left arm forward. And then we're going to get on up into our modified half pose. I'm turning back to you, yogis. If you can, right arm reaches back. Flexed foot or pointed toes to try to grab on. Use your left hand to boost you up and out. Breathing this whole time. Chest opening. Feel really proud of all this hard work you're doing. Kick into your right hand if you have a hold of it. If not, reach with all you have. 2 more big breaths in here. All right, guys, slowly lower down. Take a moment to end up just like we did a second ago. Hands come down. Forehead rest, but this time your toes turn out to the sides. Take your legs a little wider so your inner arches fall. Oh, doesn't that feel good? On the outer thighs, jiggle your hips like a bowl full of jello. All right, yogis, we're turning over to our backs. I'll talk you through if you can't see me, if you just want to literally flop like a hot dog in a roller. Otherwise, you can come up. And for those of you that have to get back, I'll give you a time check at about 12:55. So let's get some work done for our chest opening and our low backs. Rolling down all the way on your backs this time to the mat. When you get here, let's take our knees open like a butterfly wing. Remember that star pose we did? Soles of feet together, knees open like a butterfly wing. And then a little push up. We're taking palms down, push through outer edges of feet, and just lift your buns. If you're able to. If you can't, you can't. No big deal. We're just opening our hips here. Take one more big breath. Closing knees. Allow your hands to help you if you would like. Bridge pose. Heels come close to your buns. Tickle them with your fingertips if possible. And then allow your arms to fall heavy wherever they're comfy. Pushing through heels to tilt tailbone to backs of knees. Let's roll up. Articulating your spine. Really roll up one tiny fragment at a time. Roll right back down like you're going to massage your spine. Let it go. Roll up again. Tailbone tilts. Lower spine, mid spine, upper spine, all the way up through the shoulder blades. Relax. At the top, my friends, I offer a hold. Rise on up. We don't have to change a thing. We're just going to hold it. But if you feel like you want a little more, hands clasped underneath your buns, push your pinky side down, and then walk up on your shoulders. Whew, big, huh? Now, if your low back feels a bit tight and you don't like it, lift your heels, and then scoot your tailbone towards the backs of your knees again. Knees pull in towards the midline. Energy in. Breathing in all that supports you. Releasing and letting go of anything that doesn't serve you. One more big breath in, guys. And then let it go with heels melting down, but hips stay in bridge. Lift the balls of your feet. They may lift the tiniest little inch, maybe not at all, that's okay. Using your shins, using your ankles. One more big breath in. Unclasp your hands. Melt the balls of your feet down and let your arms and shoulders spread wide. Slowest person down wins. Now I'm going to ask you to do something really weird. Take your legs high to the sky and put your heels together but your toes out. I'm going to show you from the front. Heels are together and toes are out like this. When you get there, ask yourself what that did to your low back. Try to undo it. Now try to redo it. Oh, feel how your back spreads out. So nice, right? Just giving it a little massage after all that hard work. Hug your knees into your chest and rock side to side. We're going to revisit bridge in just a moment, but let's get a nice twist in first. Knees hug in, arms spread wide, and let your knees gently fall to the left side. I have an optional funky move for you here. You might want to scoot your hips a little bit to the left so that you end up with your hips directly under your shoulders. With your knees, fall into the ground or on top of a pillow, whatever's comfy. Scoot your right knee a little further towards the floor, maybe even straightening that leg. Feels really nice for your low back, right? Option to look to the right side, or we're gonna pull on our cat tail. We're poking our toes on the left foot up to the ceiling just so we can kind of find them. Reach down with the right hand, and we may get another heart opener here. So if I can grab a hold of my cat tail and pull it, then I have this big open chest, and I can plant down through the right shoulder and look in that direction. Tough posture, hang on there, yogis. We can stay right with option number one with our lying twist, which is beautiful. Those who have a hold of a cat tail, let's let it go very smoothly. Rebend both legs, my friends, and if you have a cranky low back, I advise you, I recommend that you turn to one side and roll up like the fetal position. If you want to be really strong and use your side abs, press your shoulders down, but rise here. All right, let's go to the other side. Your hips might be shifted, so let's shift those over to the left. Spread your arms in your shoulder girdle. Lift your knees to your chest and just allow them to roll to the right side. If you feel like you got a nice massage that you want to kind of play with for a sec there, go for it. Otherwise, knees to the right. Any props to build the ground up higher to make this posture more accessible. Left knee falls, left leg straightens out. Breathing new life into our low backs here. And then you might want a little bit more. Right toes rise. I say rise just because it's easier for me to get them if they're lifted, but if you can just do it under your buns, go for it. However you can grab with your left hand onto your cat tail. Then we may want to open our heart more towards the sky, eventually even planting our left shoulder and looking over the left side. And if you get into these tricky postures, or even in the more subtle, accessible ones, I just ask you to soften. Find something, somewhere that you can let go. If it's not physical, it may be mental. Any thoughts that creep in, slide through and out of your awareness like a cloud in the sky on a windy day. When you're ready, my friends, letting go of your cat tail if you have it, rebending legs if they're not already there. And if we have low backs that give us a hard time, we roll to fetal and rock up as one unit, or we land, strong arms, and squeeze through our left obliques to get back to the center. All right, let's let our legs come down to get our hips back in the center. And then this time we're hugging our knees in really wide, knees towards armpits to open our hips just a tad bit more. Play with your toes. Open and close your toes. Evert and invert, push and pull, lengthen the sides of your ankles. All right, a little bit of core work at the end to get us out of this class. Take our knees towards one another, legs to the ceiling. Now this is a beautiful yoga pose, waterfall pose, that if you're not interested in core work, I offer this to you to just stay. It's so nice, right? Otherwise, let's uplift our bodies. Shoulders may rise off the mats. And then we're going to grab a hold of the outside of our left leg and the inside with the other hand. Lower your right leg. I have a little hold, a gentle hold on my left leg. And I'm going to stay up and simply switch. Inside and outside of right leg. Inside and outside of left leg. Is this really hard? Then we can push and pull with bent knees. That feels nice, like a bicycle. If it's still too tough, I can lower my head and neck and just work on the really long legs. Beautiful, strong, long legs. We're only going for 4 more rounds, yogis. Relax your shoulders. Use your legs. Scissors smaller if it's very difficult. 3, 2, and 1. A hamstring stretch is a reward. Flex your feet like you're going to step on the ceiling and allow your upper body to fall. Now, anywhere you can hold to get our legs really stretched out. We want to go so energized through our toes. Push feet to sky. Engage kneecaps to thighs so our legs are very strong. If you want a little more, chin and chest rise, and we're just going to hang on here like we're a monkey hanging from a tree. Let's take one more big breath in. And this last set of abs would be my last set for those of you who have to jump back on a 1 p.m. call and need to leave at 12:55. One more set of abs, just a little bit differently. Both knees bend. And I'm gonna wrap myself into a tiny little ball and then double leg stretch. Arms reach out, legs reach out, head rests, wrap into a tiny little ball. I like the exhale here. Inhale as we open, exhale as we curl. We don't need to rest our head and neck unless we're really feeling stressed in that area. Let's try 4 more big ones, yogis. How can I make this easier at the end of my practice? I need a little break. Fingertips and toes come down. Crunch into your ball. 2 and 1. From your little ball, roll all the way back down to the floor. Ah, nice, guys, really nice. One of my favorite poses at the end of class. Extended butterfly pose. Your butterfly wing again on the low half. And just as we did earlier, hands, wrists, or forearms overhead. And this will help you completely let go of your shoulders and your hips after all that hard work. Let's take one more breath, and you may choose to do our final breath practice right here in this posture, or if you have a couple minutes to dedicate to your breathing practice, we could come out in a more traditional shavasana, like a corpse pose. Otherwise, find yourself rolling over to the fetal position or back to seated. For our last few minutes together here, I'd like to take you through just a little breath practice to get through your challenging moments at work for the rest of today. At the end, if our knees are much higher than our hips, we definitely want to prop up. And since we're not moving, it can be a hard block or a book. Feeling, if I palpate back there on my low back, that I have a beautiful low back curve to support my natural arch. And then you just get cozy any way possible. Very simple, what I like to call box breathing, so I can envision a box as I do it in my head. Equal parts breath. We're breathing in. I encourage 4 seconds. If it's too long, shorten it to 2 or 3. Holding for that same amount, releasing same amount, holding for same amount. I'll talk you through 2. We'll do 2 more. And then we'll breathe together one final time, and I'll send you on your way. When you're ready, soften everything. Lift a little longer through crown of head, shoulders over hips, long in your spine. Let's take a beautiful breath in for as many as you can, up to 4 seconds. At the top, hold strong, pause. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. 3, 2, 1. Breathe in again, 4, hold. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Try 2 more like that. 4-second inhalation. Exhale, release, pause. Hold any tension in your face. Let's go. Exhale. Soften down. Pause here for 4. Tension releases. Last round, yogis. In breath, 4. Pause and soften. Exhale, release. Hold this final time. Really hold in all the good, strong breath. Let it all go. Resume normal breath. Nicely done today, yogis. Let's meet our hands at heart center as one collective unit here. Thumbs come into heartbeat. Kudos to you for taking the hour to yourself. Please take a moment to be truly grateful for your newfound balance, coordination, strength, hopefully a really open heart and feeling like you have a beautiful long posture. The light in me acknowledges, is inspired by, and truly grateful to have spent the time with the light that is in each and every one of you, yogis. Namaste until we meet again.